Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Have you ever stopped to wonder how your mind processes information? Introduction to cognitive process thinking. It's a fascinating question, isn't it? Welcome to our journey into the realm of cognitive process thinking. This is the study of how our brains take in, store, retrieve, and use information. In essence, it's the science of how we think. Cognitive process thinking isn't just about what's happening inside our brains. It's also about how these processes shape our interactions with the world around us. It's about the decisions we make, the problems we solve, and the creativity we express. It's about how we perceive the world, how we form ideas, and how we communicate those ideas to others. Now, let's delve a little deeper into this concept. The term cognitive refers to everything that has to do with our mental activities. This includes perception, memory, learning, problem-solving, and decision-making. Process, on the other hand, signifies a series of actions or steps taken to achieve a particular end. So when we talk about cognitive process thinking, we're referring to the systematic steps our brain takes to process information. The human mind is a powerful tool. It's constantly absorbing, organizing, and interpreting information from our environment. It's evaluating, comparing, and making connections. It's formulating ideas, creating images, and using language. All these activities are part of the cognitive process thinking. Now, why is understanding this important? Well, when we understand how our minds work, we can harness its power. We can optimize our learning, enhance our problem-solving skills, and make better decisions. We can become more creative, more innovative, and more effective communicators. In essence, we can become more efficient and effective thinkers. So, as we embark on this journey of discovery, let's keep an open mind. Let's question, explore, and learn. Let's unravel the mysteries of the mind and uncover the power of cognitive process thinking. Understanding how our mind works can help us become more efficient and effective thinkers. Now, let's dive into the first level of thinking, perceptual thinking. So, what exactly is perceptual thinking? Well, think of it as the front door to your mind, the initial point of entry for all the sensory information that comes your way. It's based on immediate sensory experience, what you see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. This level of thinking doesn't require any complex mental gymnastics. Instead, it's about recognizing and interpreting the sensory stimuli that you're exposed to. Imagine you're walking down a street and you see a red octagonal sign. You don't need to think twice about what it means. You know it's a stop sign. That's perceptual thinking at work. It's your brain recognizing the shape, the color, and the word stop, and immediately understanding what it signifies. Perceptual thinking is also a lot about pattern recognition. It's like how you can recognize a friend's face in a crowd, or how you can tell the difference between a cat and a dog just by looking at them. It's your brain's way of making sense of the world based on the patterns it has learned to recognize. But perceptual thinking is not just about recognition. It's also about interpretation. It's about how you perceive the world around you and how you interpret that information. For instance, the feeling of a warm breeze might evoke thoughts of a summer beach vacation. The smell of freshly baked cookies might remind you of your grandmother's kitchen. These are not just sensory experiences, but interpretations of those experiences based on your personal memories and associations. In essence, perceptual thinking is your brain's way of processing the raw data it receives from your senses. It's how you recognize the world around you. It's how you interpret your sensory experiences. It's how you make sense of the world, one perception at a time. Perceptual thinking is our first encounter with raw data. It's how we interpret the world around us. Moving up a level, we encounter ideational thinking. Imagine a type of thinking that's not just grounded in the concrete, observable world around us. This form of thought propels us into the realm of ideas, theories, and concepts. Welcome to the fascinating world of ideational thinking. It's a higher level of cognitive processing that lets us go beyond the mere perception of our surroundings. So what exactly is ideational thinking? It's a process where we construct and manipulate mental representations of ideas. These ideas are not necessarily anchored to our immediate, tangible reality. They can be abstract, theoretical, or even hypothetical. For instance, when we ponder about the existence of parallel universes or brainstorm ways to combat climate change, we're engaging in ideational thinking. Ideational thinking is like a mental playground where we're free to explore, create, and experiment. It's where innovative solutions are born and new theories are conceived. It's the space where we ponder the what-ifs and the could-be's. But it's not just about daydreaming or indulging in whimsical thoughts. Ideational thinking is also a critical tool for problem-solving. When we're confronted with a complex issue, we use this form of thinking to generate potential solutions, weigh up different approaches, and predict possible outcomes. We're not just reacting to the problem at hand, we're actively engaging with it, challenging it, and trying to reshape it. Think of ideational thinking as the architect of your mind. It designs, plans, and constructs new ideas. It's the foundation of creativity, innovation, and progress. It's how we imagine the future, learn from the past, and make sense of the present. So the next time you find yourself lost in thought, dreaming up a new invention, or trying to solve a tricky problem, remember, you're exercising your ideational thinking. It's a testament to the incredible power and versatility of the human mind. Ideational thinking is our mind's way of going beyond the immediate, of creating and exploring new ideas. Images and concepts. Now that we know the levels of thinking, let's examine the tools our mind uses, starting with images and concepts. Images and concepts are the bedrock of our thought processes, the foundation upon which our cognitive structures are built. They are the raw materials, the bricks and mortar of our mental world. But what exactly are they? In the simplest terms, images are mental pictures we form in our minds. They can be visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory, or gustatory. They serve as a mental representation of the world around us, a snapshot of reality as we perceive it. They can be as vivid as a summer's day or as blurry as a faded memory. They can be derived from our personal experiences or borrowed from the collective pool of human knowledge. Images are the sensory impressions that help us navigate the world. On the other hand, concepts are abstract ideas that encapsulate the essential qualities of a thing or idea. They are the mental labels that we attach to the images we form. They are the cognitive shortcuts that allow us to make sense of the world without having to process every single detail. They are the broad strokes that paint the picture of our understanding. Think of concepts as the categories we use to sort out the vast array of images we encounter every day. For example, when we think of a bird, we don't just picture a single image of a bird, but rather a concept that includes all the characteristics that define what a bird is: feathers, wings, beak, ability to fly, and so on. So, in essence, images and concepts are two sides of the same cognitive coin. Images provide the raw sensory data, while concepts give that data meaning. They work in tandem to construct our thoughts, our understanding, and ultimately, our reality. In the grand scheme of cognitive process thinking, images and concepts are the stepping stones that bridge the gap between perception and ideation. They are the tools that help us transform raw sensory input into meaningful understanding. Images and concepts are the raw materials our mind uses to construct thoughts. Language and thought. Finally, let's look at the last two tools our mind uses: language and thought. These two elements are not only essential to our cognitive process, but they're also interconnected in ways that are quite fascinating. Language, you see, is more than just a system of communication. It's the framework that we use to structure and organize our thoughts. It provides us with a means to express our ideas, our feelings, and our desires. It's through language that we make sense of the world around us, and it's through language that we share our understanding with others. Think about it. When we learn a new language, we're not just memorizing words and grammar rules. We're gaining a new tool that can help us think in different ways. We're opening up new pathways for our thoughts to travel, creating new connections in our brain. But language is not a one-way street. It's not just about expressing what's already in our minds. It's also about shaping our thoughts, directing our attention, and guiding our behavior. In other words, language doesn't just reflect our thoughts, it also influences them. Now let's move on to thought. Thoughts are the mental constructs that we use to make sense of our experiences. They're the stories we tell ourselves about what's happening in our lives, and they guide our actions in response to those stories. While language gives form to our thoughts in turn give meaning to our words. It's a cyclical process. As we think, we use language, and as we use language, we think. In this way, language and thought are intertwined. They feed off each other, shaping and being shaped by each other. They're the vehicles that carry our ideas from the abstract realm of our minds into the tangible world of our actions. It's through language and thought that we turn our perceptions and ideas into reality. Language and thoughts are the vehicles that carry our ideas and turn them into action. So, what have we uncovered about our mind's intricate processes? We've journeyed through the fascinating world of cognitive process thinking, discovering how our minds work. We've explored the two distinct levels of thinking: perceptual, where we gather and interpret information through our senses, and ideational, where we use this information to form ideas, make decisions, and solve problems. Our exploration didn't stop there. We delved into the tools of thinking, uncovering the role of images and concepts. Images, both mental and physical, help us visualize and comprehend the world around us. Concepts, on the other hand, allow us to categorize and understand these images. Lastly, we saw how language and thought are intertwined, with language serving as the vehicle for expressing our thoughts and ideas. And so we see, by understanding how we think, we can harness the power of our minds and become better thinkers, learners, and doers. Let's continue to explore, learn, and grow together. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.